Alright, Pistons fans, so in today's video, we're going to be talking about Deividas Sirvydis. Now, the Detroit Pistons officially have waived Deividas Sirvydis, and a lot of people on the internet right now, they don't really know and understand what's going on. They're saying, why did we release Sirvydis? So in this video, I'm going to try to give you guys my best possible explanation as to why the Pistons decided to do this, and basically my interpretation of what Troy Weaver is planning with this waiving of Deividas Sirvydis. Okay, so we first and foremost have to talk about what did Sirvydis do this season. So he came over here from overseas this past season. He came late, actually. He missed training camp and he was late to the preseason because he had visa issues. And then once he came to the Pistons, he didn't play many minutes in the games that he did get in, but he did show some promise here and there. He had some games where I did like some of the things that I've seen out of Deividas Sirvydis. He showed a lot of shooting potential, someone who I feel like in the future, not on the Pistons obviously anymore, but in the future on another NBA team, I feel like Sirvydis will be a good shooter for any team in the NBA. And then also he showed a little bit of playmaking potential. Just here and there, in some moments, he showed some playmaking potential. But overall, Deividas Sirvydis was a raw prospect. We all knew that Sirvydis was a few years away, and with Troy Weaver bringing him here from the draft last year, we all knew that it was going to take time for Sirvydis to really develop. But apparently it's not in Troy Weaver plans. And the reason why I believe that it's not in his plans is because you got to look at the roster and look at the players coming up, okay? We obviously have Jeremy Grant. We already have Saddiq Bey. We just drafted Isaiah Livers. We got Saban Lee coming back. We got Luka Garza. We're going to try to re-sign Diallo. We got Josh Jackson. We got Sekou. Like, we have so many guys on this roster, right? So many guys who are going to be fighting for minutes in the NBA. And even guys in the G League, guys are going to be fighting for opportunity down there. So in my opinion, I think Troy was just looking at Sirvydis and was like, hey, there are other guys on this roster who's going to need more minutes, who's going to need more development time, and Sirvydis just doesn't make the cut. I know it sucks. I know as Pistons fans, it really hurts to hear this because you never really want to give up on a guy who has potential, but Troy Weaver is looking at this situation. He's just saying, hey, Sirvydis was a guy taken in the second round. He's shown a little bit of potential here and there, but there are other guys who need to give minutes to. And in the G League, there are other guys who need to focus on. And Troy just decided to pull the trigger and get rid of Sirvydis. I understand that it sucks. I understand that it hurts to hear this, but we just got to look at it like it's a business. There are other guys coming up that we need to focus on and give more attention to. Now, yes, I understand, you know, some people say, why wouldn't we just throw him in the G League, or why wouldn't we try to trade Sirvydis for a second round pick? I understand those takes and, you know, people saying that. I understand that, but at the same time, if Troy Weaver just does not see a future in Deividas Sirvydis, I believe in him, man. Troy Weaver is a guy who truly knows how to scout talent, and, you know, look at these guys. If Troy Weaver, the man who's great at scouting talent, says that Deividas Sirvydis doesn't have it and he's not as valuable as the other guys on this roster, I'm going to believe him, man. Troy is basically coming out and saying, hey, Sirvydis doesn't have the potential of the other guys on this roster. Deividas at his best, we all knew he was going to end up being a bench player for us, a role player for us. But the difference is, let's say, for example, a guy like Saban Lee, right? Saban Lee versus Deividas Sirvydis. Yes, Saban Lee is also going to end up being a guy to come off the bench and being a sixth man, but there's a difference between being the sixth man on the roster, and then there's a difference between being the 10th man on the roster, if you know what I mean. Saban Lee, he would end up being a guy potentially to become the sixth man, and Sirvydis would end up potentially being a guy who's the 10th man. So think about it like that. Think about potential versus potential. Deividas just doesn't have the potential as a guy like Saban Lee or Isaiah Livers on this roster. So Troy Weaver just decided to prioritize these guys and give them more attention, give them more minutes, and decided to get rid of Sirvydis to open up space for these other guys on their roster and give opportunity to these young guys, man. So to wrap up this video, man, I just want to say I do know it sucks, man. It really does hurt, and it was confusing at first when you saw this, but you got to believe in Troy Weaver. Troy Weaver has a plan. He hasn't shown me any reason to doubt him at this current moment in time, so I'm going to continue to believe in Troy Weaver. I'm going to continue to be positive when it comes to looking at his moves because he hasn't really made any bad moves so far. Yes, you can make arguments here and there about the Mason Plumlee signing, or you could argue for Tyrese Halliburton over Killian Hayes. You could try to make those arguments, but overall, Troy Weaver has done a fantastic job rebuilding / restoring this Pistons roster. So I'm going to continue to believe in him, man. He's done with Deividas Sirvydis, so I'm also done with Deividas Sirvydis. Deividas may end up becoming a good bench player on another team like we thought he would be on the Pistons, but it is what it is, man. The NBA is a business. These types of things happen. So, Pistons fans, let me know how y'all feel in the comment section below. Like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Thank y'all for 2K, and I'm out.